We're talking Florida teen accused of running a fake gynecology center, Beyonce protesters updates, and Goodtimes cast starts a Kickstarter for a reunion movie.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Derrial Christon. Welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week. We got an exciting show for us today. We got a little nasty girl Vanity 6 playing right now, R.I.P. Denise Matthews. But joining us today is Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
And our very special guests are two very talented actors. They are going to be in a new play in a movie that's coming out. Rachel Walker and John Merchant are here with us today.
Woo, woo.
How you guys doing?
Hello.
Welcome.
Wonderful.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're excited. You got the coolest voice in Hollywood right now, John. I just got to say that.
Wait, John, I think we need you to pull your mic up just a little bit so we can get
So
that.
that we can
There
get
you
the
go.
full
Gotta
voice
get
you got going
I don't know
on.
if your speaker systems would be.
You might blow us out, right? You might blow us out.
All that
Like Megan Trainor, all about that bass.
That's right. Well, you know, of course, I had the theme music a little bit playing for Denise Matthews, who was Vanity from Vanity 6. We learned this week that she unfortunately passed away, and she's pretty much an icon in pop culture. I mean, Prince discovered her very early on in the early 80s, and she went on to lead that group and had a very successful acting career, singing career, and later on changed her life around after a strong drug problem back in the 80s and 90s to become a minister and a born-again Christian. But she passed away this week, unfortunately, through failure of her kidneys, and we wanted to give her a shout out and a moment for her because she's been such an instrumental part of pop culture today. So rest in peace, and you know, we hope to see you again one day. So we want to have that moment for her. All right, on to positive things. More positive things. You two, once again, are joining us today, and we got a lot of fun subjects.
I can't
kind
wait.
of give a little briefing on those, but we're going to first read the buzzer meter question from last week, which was, do you find Beyonce's formation empowering? Beyonce's been in the news a lot. I'm sure you guys have been hearing and seeing everything, especially since Super Bowl with her formation, Black Panther,
Why don't you get in
Black Power whole thing that she had going on that a lot of people either loved or hated, and you know, her fans were going in on some other fans, and it was just a big old thing. But you guys voted, and 72% of you said yes, and 28% of you said no.
All right.
So
Smart
that's
kids out
interesting.
there.
Yeah, I want to know about that 28%. I'm surprised.
Like, who are they?
Just
They're
that.
just Beyonce haters.
I thought it'd be a lower number, actually.
They're just
Rihanna's
haters.
fans came to the website.
Yeah, they were like, here we go
Right,
again.
right. They were part of that Rihanna fan
Anti!
that didn't want her to show up to the Grammys on Sunday.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. The buzzer meter question for today is: should the FBI work with Apple? We're gonna get more into that story, but first up, we got some good trending topics that DJ Jesse's gonna talk about.
Boom. So I was going to talk about Beyonce's Black video that went viral this past week on SNL, but all this ish came out. There was hide your wife, hide your kids, and double check your wife's gynecologist, because there was this boy by the name of Malachi Love Robinson. He was arrested for giving physical medical exams to patients, and he is not a licensed doctor. So this boy is 18 years old, walking around St. Mary's down in Florida with a lab coat on,
Giving gynecological
peeking
exams.
into gyno exams and just walking on up to people like, hey, I'm Dr. Love Robinson. Sounds like a nice guy, right? Well, apparently, a patient saw this little boy walking around with a lab coat and was like, why is there a child walking around with a clipboard pretending to be a doctor? So the hospital looked into it. They figured it out. There was a Dr. Kent who was like, yeah, this guy keeps coming up to me and asking me all these questions. And one day I just looked at him and I was like, he looks a little too young. And they put two and two together and they figured out that this kid,
That's crazy.
who was arrested in January 2015 for pretending to be a doctor, he got off on $6,000 bail. He opened up his own clinic called the New Birth, New Life Holistic and Alternative Medical Center in West Palm Beach. He was taking money from people, so there's some, little feuds within that. He did an interview at Good Morning America in which they asked him, do you have your license? And he said, you guys will meet my attorneys, and walked off in the middle of the interview. His grandfather stepped up and said This is all a big misunderstanding. He's got proof that he is a holistic doctor, or he can treat people holistically, and he's also training to become a minister under me. And his mother came out to say, this is all a mistake because he has an illness and he isn't taking his medication. So there have been no charges against him yet. What are y'all thinking?
I mean, wow. When I saw this story, it has so many layers.
Oh,
it was
SVU, please pick this one
Yeah,
up.
this is a good one for SVU. I mean, even Ryan Murphy, if he does something like a new theme,
Yeah, that would be a good one for
movie,
American
TV
Horror
series,
Story.
American Horror Story would be a great one. I mean, I'm so fascinated by this kid. First of all, he's 18 years old. He's a holistic, his angle was holistic medicine. That was his angle. He opened up 2 offices, first of all.
Like,
he had staff. I mean,
the grandfather says basically the idea was he ran the company and then they brought doctors in under him. He's saying that he never actually did anything.
And he 18 right
himself.
now, or he was 18 like 2 years ago when he first started?
No.
A
Right
year
now.
ago.
Right now, he's 18.
Just
In
turned
this
18.
moment.
Yeah.
Who leased the building to the child?
That's what I'm saying. Who leased the building? And his office was among other doctors.
No, and it was real cute too. I saw the office.
He
I was
wasn't the
like,
only doctor,
what am I doing
alleged
with my
doctor
life?
on the floor. He's with surgeons and all kind of different doctors on the floor who would see him every day.
It's scary, but at the same time, I would hate to crush such a miraculous imagination. Like, brother, you.
Well, what do you guys think? The grandfather came out to say, look, there are kids out there doing drugs, raping people. You know, he's here and this is what he wants to do with his life. And he wants, at 18 years
It's
old.
upsetting to me because I'm all about holistic medicine, and it gives that a bad name.
Yeah.
I mean, it turns people away from it, and just because it's holistic, it's okay? No, it's not okay.
I agree with you. I think, it's saddening because you're crushing this boy's dreams, but at the same token, there's a way to go about
it,
doing
yeah,
things.
and yeah.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, it made me side-eye my doctor for a little bit. Like, I'm thinking like, okay, do I need to look on the wall and make sure I see the plaque of the
You're supposed to
should've
make sure
been
they're
did that
accredited
before you
you
went
go
in.
to the
I guess so,
office.
but here's
Especially
the
out
thing.
here
You're
in
supposed
LA.
to look at the medical board before you go in.
I'm like, your doctor next to a Chipotle and a 7-Eleven?
But where he's so stupid. But where is he getting all the supplies and things like that? You know what I mean? And how is he paying his staff? Well, he's probably paying the staff by these checks that he's cashing, because there was one woman, I think her name was Anita. Let's
Applebaum.
see, Anita Williams or something in reference to that. But basically, she was saying that she was one of his heavy victims, where she took about $3,000 to $4,000 from her that he was cashing her checks, and she was really, whatever her ailment was, she was pretty sick. And she said that he had given her some holistic tablets, and she felt, they're not really doing anything, but maybe it's just I'm so sick that it takes a while, or it hasn't really kicked in full effect. So that's where I'm kind of like, that's not so cool, because someone could die on, you know what I mean? And that's a whole other different issue, and it's scary. I think it's scary. I mean,
it's scary.
Because then I'm just like, damn. I mean, he went and just easily opened up these offices
Like it wasn't no thing.
and it was and with other doctors, and then I'm like, what TV show is he studying that he knows certain terminology?
Probably following
Because
on
I'm gonna pick some things up with my doctor. If they saying stuff, I'm like, all right now.
These doctors have Snapchats. They be showing them cutting open people.
I mean, that's true. You
like,
can find everything on social media.
Dr. Miami
You
on
could.
Snapchat.
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. You
but
can find
you're
everything on
into
social media.
the whole holistic treatment thing. So
Yes.
how do you like find the appropriate person to treat that?
Research.
Yeah.
I mean, you do background checks. Absolutely. I mean, anybody can say anything they want.
Yeah.
So I do my research, and I actually
When you go in, are there certain like terms and things that you kind
that
of
I listen for. Well, mainly it's the aura and the space, and you'll know how it smells. You'll know how these people represent themselves, and you'll know like this is the place I want to be at.
right?
This
Like if it
place I
smells
wanna
like
be.
Kraft macaroni and cheese and Crayola,
You
he may be too
back
young.
away. Yeah. And then
Right.
usually their website will have good information on it.
Yeah.
You can find anything on the internet. So just do your research.
just
Definitely.
smell
That's what's
Cheerios.
scary, though. That's what's scary. Well, he made a statement. He said, I just wanted to say I am deeply saddened and a little bit disrespected by some of the things that have come under factor. And I'm like, how are you disrespected? Aren't you disrespecting people by making them think that they're getting better and they're not getting better?
Doing gynecological exams, brother, nah. Like, we can't.
It's scary.
Well, speaking of disappointed and highly saddened, Kanye West performed on SNL this past weekend, which was a great performance.
It was good that he got out there.
Loved it. I also love his new album.
Yeah.
Check it out, available on Tidal. But Page Six leaked audio of Kanye. There was a rumor that he had cussed SNL out, and when Taylor Swift did her speech basically saying, Kanye, stop talking about you want to fuck me. I got the award myself. Thank you. Kanye apparently called her a fake ass. So this is what happened. Apparently he showed up at SNL. 30 minutes before he was supposed to perform, they changed his whole set around. And his quote was this: "They took my stage off SNL without asking me. Now I'm bummed. That fake ass Taylor, man, we gonna break the internet. I went through 6 years of this shit, bro. Let's get to it, bro. Let's get to it, bro. Let's get to it, bro. Are they fucking crazy? Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. For the next 1,000 years, Stanley Kubrick, Pablo Picasso, Paul the Apostle. I'm 50% more influential than any other human being. Stanley Kubrick, yee!"
That was a really good interpretation.
I watched it right before this,
felt
so I
that
could
inner
channel
Kanye
it.
in you. You channeled that inner Kanye.
Yeah.
I
So
was feeling that.
he then goes on to say, a close friend of Kanye's came out and said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's all rumors. They recorded that while he was backstage talking to his friends. He wasn't talking to the SNL staff like that. Actually, he stayed late and hung out with the producers and the camera people at SNL and talked with them and laughed with them." So he's like, people are making this a little bigger than what it is. It also stemmed on the next day, we hear Kanye West tells everyone he's $53 million in debt.
Right.
Why? Because he decided, fuck Nike, fuck Adidas, fuck everybody. I'm going to put $53 million of my own hard-worked money into my product. Love it. I'm here for that. Now, here's what I'm not here for. He then went on to say, now because the line may not have done as great or miraculous as he wanted it to be, a fan by the name of, he actually hit up Mark Zuckerberg and asked him to donate $1 billion to Kanye West so that he can, as he said, bring more beautiful ideas to the world. Well, I don't think Mark has hit him back, but a fan,
Probably a smart move.
Jeremy Hyatt, created a GoFundMe account asking for, of course, $53 million. They've received over 400 donations, $3,800 in total, and $5 will help you promote your business, so using Kanye West's name. So, of course, the draggers the trolls had to make their way to Kanye's account. And Watchdogs.com donated $200 with the title quote, "Don't be like Kanye, get out of debt with us." Chicago Bully Breed Rescue donated $5 saying, "The dogs are willing to give up $5 of their treat allowances to help Kanye since his problems are so much bigger than suffering, neglect, abuse, starvation, and illegal dogfighting." Kanye had come out to say, I'm not personally bankrupt. I can, of course, afford things for my lifestyle and stuff like that. But as far as the art goes, I need help investing in this since these big companies won't. My problem is this: you're asking fans to donate. First of all, you're charging people $500 to $600 for your clothing. Now you're asking the same people who probably went out and bought all that clothing to donate more money for the production of the clothing that you already charged them $500, $600 for. Do they get any rebate at the end of that? My question. What are you guys thinking?
I want to know what John thinks.
Right, because you see his head go up and then
I felt his energy
and
that
then
he
it
wanted
come
to
up
say
and then it go
something in
down.
that process. I want to know what John has to say about this.
I mean, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. I mean, I personally love Kanye. I think that he's a genius with what he does. I enjoy his album. I personally don't believe in paying $1,000 for a T-shirt, or I don't buy his shoes. I don't subscribe to that. But I understand what it takes to be a business person. And I think a lot of people get lost in the circus around Kanye, the things that he says. I think he's misunderstood a lot of times.
But do you think he gets lost in that circus? Like when he says the comment, for 1,000 years from now, people will, remember me like these other names. And we were talking right before where we said, wow, that Kendrick performance at the Grammys, to me, that's something
Amazing.
For years to come, people will talk about that performance. Yeah. And we were kind of saying, I was saying, I feel like Kanye could be that, but now he's with this Kardashian thing, and it's getting him a lot of publicity, but it almost takes away from the it clouds the artistic. So my question is, do you think he is in that circus mentally? Or he's using it?
I think he's using it, and I think it's intentional, and it's beyond the purist. Like, I consider myself a purist. It's like I see through all the mess. I don't even consider the Kardashians a factor when it comes to his artwork, because he had that X factor before he first started dating Kim. And so I think it's more him doing that to reach a bigger audience, because now at this point he's a household name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that didn't know about Kanye until he pulled the whole stunt with Taylor Swift. Now everybody, I had neighbors in my neighborhood that didn't even know how to say his name correctly, that were coming up, oh, what's up with this Kane guy? Why did he do that to that poor girl? It's like, he did it for this reason. Exactly.
Which is so funny that he goes around saying, I put Taylor on, and in reality, I kind of feel like it's the opposite. Well, they help put each other on.
I think he helped boost her fame. I personally feel that way, because she had her own success. I'm not taking anything away from that, but I don't feel as though there were a lot of my peers that were really checking for her. I feel like,
and vice versa though.
I think America demonized Kanye, which actually helped him.
Yeah.
But I feel like they kind of coddled Taylor Swift, like they went to her rescue, and she became like their poster child. And so I feel like in that aspect, from that perspective, yes, he did kind of help to propel her career. But ultimately, I believe that she was destined for success, and always had it, and vice versa. But you think about Kanye, he's always been that way. A person to speak his mind, a person that's all about controversy to help propel his career.
But do you think at one point, it's like the boy who cried wolf, that we get tired of it? You know what I mean? It's cool, we hear it, you're just like, okay, yeah, that's Kanye. But at what point do you say, even for me, it's starting to take away from his music a little bit, for me. Because I have always enjoyed him. I think he's a musical genius. But sometimes I'm just like, shut up, Kanye. You know what I mean? It's like now, and it's such as we were just saying, Kendrick Lamar just performed at the Grammys. Now, I don't know what the future's going to hold for Kendrick Lamar. He may start to be this super outspoken person, but his performance and the way he handles things, I feel is different, and I respect his art a little bit more right now, just because I feel like he's still humble. And there's an aspect that I'm like, Kanye, man, I mean, at what point do you just say too much? And it's starting to turn me off a little bit.
I think that has a lot to do with, it's almost like dating, where you see somebody that's extremely attractive, and then once you get to know them, there's certain, little things that kind of like, I don't know if I like her using my toothpaste,
Right.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say toothbrush. I was like, what kind of family you come from?
Oh, no.
I know people that do that.
Right, but I think it's the same thing with Kanye. He's consistently giving us great bodies of work. Even from the beginning, he came in where the world was doing snap music.
Yeah.
Here comes this breath of fresh air with, College Dropout, where he's actually saying the same exact things that he was saying now, as far as corporations, as far as racial tension and all of these things. And it's ironic how in the entertainment business, somebody that's saying something very nice, in general, people won't pay attention to it. And it's not until you say, hey, I'm outside building a house, nobody is helping me, you're all idiots, before people say, wait, what did you just call me?
Right.
What kind of house are you building? Then they start to rush towards it.
That's
so
true.
with Kanye, he's obviously been trying to get into the fashion world from the beginning. He's put, Lord knows, if it is 53 million or probably more of his own money to try to invest into something that is going to help progress the culture.
Right.
Speaking of hip hop, or even just, the black culture in general. And nobody is there to try to help or support him in that aspect, but everybody wants him to be the jerk.
But what blows my mind, nobody wants to be there to help him. Okay, so you get in with the highest marketable clan, the Kardashians, right? Who has Kris Jenner, who...
Better not say clan when you reference the Kardashians. That was already a big social media movement. You better not say clan.
Family.
Use that name.
Sorry, just all the K's. No, I'm just kidding. But my thing is like, it just bothers me to see someone who understands that, and then you put all your products, the people who you're supposed to be the savior for and everyone's rooting for are struggling or using all of their paycheck or their rent money or finding ways to just get this clothing to put you on a pedestal. And I feel like it's almost like as a Kanye fan, I want him to rape the industry and give back to the people.
And I think that's primarily what he's trying to do.
To get to that point?
And the issue is you have producers and you have consumers. And the consumers are the ones that are trying to help Kanye, to push Kanye, but it's still not enough when you have the producers on the other side of the fence that are above Kanye, that are marginalizing him and pushing him down and saying, the whole thing with Nike was your shoe isn't going to sell. And he's telling them, my shoe outsold your biggest product.
Right.
And you're telling me that this isn't, I'm bringing you these ideas and all of you are telling me that they're not working, but then yet and still somebody else does them and they become the biggest things in the world. You're telling me my sound won't work, but then I produce this, it's the biggest thing, it has the most impact with this culture around the world.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that it's not working, and I can see how that can become frustrating, especially when you have a genius mind and you're like a Picasso or somebody that's trying something different and revolutionizing what it means to be an artist, what it means to be a genius, what it means to be a fashionista, whatever you're trying to get into. You're trying to revolutionize these worlds, and people are telling you that you can't. And so, with the comments of 1,000 years, Lord knows we may be saying that he is the next Da Vinci or Walt Disney.
Someone said to me yesterday, they were like, when you really look at it, there are certain types of people in this world. Some people can, some artists can balance the creative and the business side, but some people are literally just I'm a creative. Like, don't ask me about nothing. I need someone to manage that other stuff. Right. I feel like he's the same way. I feel like, but he's been screwed over or bitten so many times that now we literally are seeing this live man who's just like, I don't really know what's going on in this industry. I'm going to call everybody out. I feel like he needs a really smart business partner to help him with the financial stuff.
I think he needs to stay exactly how he is.
Really?
I mean, he's emotional and people respond to it. People respond to it.
That's true. They do. He gets a reaction regardless.
He gets a reaction regardless.
He does.
Steve Jobs did the same thing. He was very, overreactive and he got results.
True.
It's a very positive spin.
Kanye. Boom. Well,
I like that.
Whatever your favorite TV show is, make sure you guys check out our sister site, AfterBuzz TV. As soon as the show is over, I know I was watching American Crime Story, and as soon as I was done, I had to go to AfterBuzz TV to get the buzz, the latest, with favorite celebrities and all that gossip. Check out AfterBuzzTV.com.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. Courtney, I think you have some Beyonce updates
after all
for
this
us.
Kanye-ness, I can't, bring back Beyonce. Here we go again. Okay, so this week, there was a sheriff in Tennessee. Some very unfortunate things happened in Tennessee. So there were 8 gunshots heard outside of the sheriff's home, and it was very upsetting. And since the Super Bowl performance that Beyonce did, 7 to 8 police have been shot and harmed. And so when Sheriff Robert Arnold woke up and heard those gunshots outside of his home, he just felt like, damn, Beyonce, why you had to do that? So he went on TV and he did a press conference and he did an interview. And in this interview on Tuesday, he basically floated the possibility that Beyonce's politically charged performance and all of the anti-police feelings of late may have instigated the shooter that was shooting outside of his home, as well as the other police shootings across the country that are closely watched. So the reporters were kind of like, wait a second, we're in Tennessee, Beyonce's not here, like, we don't get it, that was 2 weeks ago, what do you mean? So they pressed, what are you talking about, what do you mean? He went on to say, quote, with everything that's happened since the Super Bowl, and with law enforcement as a whole, I think we've lost 5 to 7 officers, 5 deputies, sheriffs since the Super Bowl. Here's another target on law enforcement. And they pressed him again, what the hell does that mean, brother? What are you talking about? And he said, well, you have Beyonce's video and how that's kind of bled over into other things. It seems like it's about fighting law enforcement. Then he sent an email to the newspaper and went on to say that basically his comments were meant to reflect the violence and senseless killing of the 7 deputies in the United States since the show, quote, the Super Bowl, aired. And his comments were an observation of the violence that has occurred, but in no way was meant to offend anybody. So damn it, Beyonce, you got all these police shot up because you did a politically charged performance, and I'm real upset about it. End scene. So that's
How many black kids have
Tennessee
died
sheriff.
since the Katy Perry performance?
Yeah. So it's because Beyonce did, like, the cops done got shot up, you know, because, you know, she
'Cause of
danced at
Beyonce.
the Super Bowl.
All that gyration.
We
All
might
that
we might
gyration.
need to rethink, you know, how we're listening to Beyonce and how
Yeah.
we're putting that out there for
Yes.
the world.
Rachel, what are your thoughts on this?
Don't have them watch our film.
I was gonna say you come from a very racially charged play and film. So what's your input on this whole backlash of Beyonce and all these things that people are saying from her performance?
I think it's heinous. I think they just want someone to blame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what she had to say was very relevant. I mean, her video was very relevant, and I'm glad that she did it. And I'm glad that she came out, and now is the time. I mean, these things have been going on for centuries. And I'm so proud for Beyonce and that she did what she did.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, and seen.
And what else is going on?
I would just like to know what video they watched. Like, when he's referring to the video and her performance at the Super Bowl, because, like, I'm pretty sure in the video, like, the little boy that was breakdancing and the police are lined up, the police put their hands up and the little boy was dancing. He didn't
Right.
turn and shoot them.
Right.
In fact, the next image was them saying, writing on the wall saying, "Stop killing us."
Right.
Us. We weren't, at no point did she say, "Let me kill y'all instead." So I just was confused. But also confusing was the protest that we were talking about last week. So there was an online petition that was anonymous, so we don't know who put it up. But basically they were calling for the country and all of us out there who support the police to go down to the NFL headquarters in New York and protest the Beyonce performance.
Biggest mistake of your
They were
life.
super excited, and then there was concern because we all know how the Beehive swarms on social media. So the Beehive
They
got
don't
wind
play.
of this, and people were getting nervous, like, oh snap, all these Beehive people gonna come out here, and they're gonna meet with these people that are mad at Beyonce, and it's gonna be a whole reckless, crazy situation. 3 people showed up, y'all.
For the anti.
3 people showed up for the anti. Okay, there's conflicting reports about how many Beehive people showed up because they were saying no Beehive people showed
first
up.
I read
but then
no
somebody else
Beehive,
said
yeah.
there were more. Another report said there were more Beehive people that were
Right.
there singing against the 3 people that showed up to protest.
In their
the
formation
NFL.
outfits.
Well, the pictures that were out, it looked like it was a whole bunch of Beyonce fans
Yeah.
talking about information.
Yeah.
Not
So
formation,
there you
information.
go. They started a petition. It didn't quite work, and there you go.
Well, you know,
I just think the media is doing this.
Well, that could be it too. But we talked about this kind of last week. But it's interesting because there's a lot of back and forth right now. I think that people are feeling that now African Americans and minorities are really making a stance on what's going on in the community and talking about it. And then there's the other side of people who are saying, hey, don't blame us for everything. You know, your statistics are wrong about Black Lives Matter and who's being shot and how many people are actually shot per year versus one race versus another. So it's kind of interesting to see where this is all going to unfold to
Yeah.
because everybody has their side that they're standing on, and there's a lot of conflicting information for both, you know? And I don't really have the right answer right now. I don't know if anybody does, because at the end of the day, we're trying to form something where we all work together, and it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like we're actually removing ourselves further and further away from that than trying to work together.
Yep.
You know, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you, and I think that you know, there's a heavy misconception about, you know, both sides. I think that, you know, there's certain people that get offended that shouldn't get offended. They're taking accountability for things that don't apply to them, and they speak up on it, and it doesn't apply to them. You know, Beyonce was obviously doing the same thing that NWA did back in the late '80s, which was simply just narrating exactly what is being seen. Excuse me. A lot of the frustration. I mean, granted, we can't hold her responsible for these
Sure.
shootings. Excuse me. Maybe Beyonce doesn't want me talking about this.
It's the Beehive. It's the Beehive.
Moving around.
You know, we've been seeing, you know, it recorded live, and there's no type of repercussions that have been coming, you know, at least as far as the media has been showing. No repercussions have been shown regarding, like, police officers being held accountable for their actions and different things of that nature. So that increases a lot of the frustrations, and the ironic part about it is that most people don't respond when they need to. The ones that do feel threatened or feel like we're talking to them, they don't stand up when it matters. You know, when we say, you know, Black Lives Matter, no, all lives matter. Okay, well then, when these situations happen and it applies to all lives matter, you're nowhere to be found.
Right.
You're not speaking up on social media. All of your, you know, something happens, you know, locally, you're not changing your Facebook picture to, you know, represent whatever's happening local, you know, but you represent, you know, your own personal views, you know.
It's true.
And I feel as though if they just kind of get a better understanding of where someone like Beyonce or these people that are speaking up, especially the Black community that are taking a stance, if they get a better understanding of why we are saying the things that we're saying, then I think they'll kind of come around.
Do you two think that Beyonce was wrong for making the statement that she did with her performance at Super Bowl and on that platform of a type of event? Do you think that she was wrong for that?
I don't think she was wrong at all. I think that's what having that type of platform is for.
Yeah.
You know, it's speaking up. When you're an artist, you're supposed to be a role model, and you speak on what you're dealing with. It would be a disservice, I personally feel, if I had a grand stage like that and I wasn't talking about issues that were happening in my hometown or happening to my family, happening to people that support me. You know, if I just got up and everything that I did was just talking about my voice, which is great, that's cool, but then when it came to something that was important, if I didn't take a stand and say, hey, this is what's
going on,
been a plague in my society, we need help, or you need to, you know, at least pay attention to it. You know,
I
it's
feel
a
that.
disservice to the people.
What about you, Rachel?
Do I feel that she was wrong in saying what
Yeah.
she said?
Or
Absolutely not.
performing the way she did?
No, absolutely not. No, she had every right. She is who she is. And I mean, now I feel more people within the industry are starting to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she felt, well, hey, now is my time. And I hope more artists take after that as well.
I'm sure we'll see a lot,
We'll see some
a
more.
lot of new performances coming out. I'm
But
sure.
it just blows my mind that Kid Rock, I mean, I won't even use him as an example, but like, let's use Jessica Simpson, who had the Dukes of Hazzard movie, and she came.
I was like, where is
you
that
better
going?
check
I'm
her
joking.
coin
No,
bank
she
with
got a lot
her
of coin
Macy's
bank.
shoe line.
I'm joking,
But
I'm
no,
kidding.
you look at Jessica Simpson when she came out with that Dukes of Hazzard movie, and These Boots Are Made for Walking. That music video had the Confederate flag painted all through it, and at that time, Jessica Simpson was Jessica Simpson, Nick Lachey, like she was the biggest pop star at that time. No one said nothing about that. No one cared about that. Or when there were little, you know, groups coming up and being like, "Why is that? You guys promoting the Confederate?" It was like, oh, that's history. That's history. Why can't Beyonce have some?
Black Panthers in her video.
You know what I mean? And I don't know
Okay.
where the right, you know what I mean? Like, there was no statement of that. That was just people saying, oh, they're the Black Panthers. Beyonce never came out and said, I mean, I get it, but like, if you're gonna sit here and not get mad at these flags that are in these videos and all of this and all of the other, it's just crazy.
But
to me.
people don't take a video versus a platform that's like the All-American.
Before
event
the
of
Super Bowl,
year.
they were complaining about Beyonce's video.
I mean, but I hear you, but it's still they take a different tone. But it is what it is. It's gonna be continue to be a conversation.
Effery
apparently.
always will
Yes.
exist. Okay, last but not least for my little section here, we have a serious privacy issue that has come up, you guys. Biggest news story in the last 24 hours is that Apple has been served by the courts, the federal courts. The FBI is like, yo, you about to open this phone from the San Bernardino shooter. I don't care how you do it, but you got to make it happen. Apple said, oh, no, we don't. We are not going to do that because it's going to compromise the security of our entire nation of iPhone users, and that is not cool. So there's been a lot of back and forth. Apple has appealed the warrant that has been issued to them, basically saying like what they basically have to do is come up with software to essentially hack their own phones. And they claim that, you know, if you come up with the software to hack the phone, then that becomes accessible to any and everyone to continue to hack the phones. And the whole point of our iPhone and the way we have it set up is so that that is not going to be the case and that we can protect your security. Then there's sort of an argument on the FBI side saying like, we're not asking you to really like come up with a full backdoor to the phone. We just want you to come up with, so basically right now the FBI can like put in random numbers to try to break into this phone. But based on the way Apple has done their security, they can only do it 10 times before the phone can be like locked up and the information can be like encrypted and gone forever.
Yeah.
So they're trying to tell Apple to also just come up with something that will get them to be able to do more entries than the 10 entries and still be able to access the information, but that's still technically a backdoor to the encryption of the phone. But that's what they're trying to tell all y'all out there, that it's not that big of a deal, and it's national security, guys, and we got to protect the country, and there could be some serious information on that phone, because Fareed Sayuk, who was the San Bernardino shooter, could have had lots and lots of information on the phone that was terrorist related, and they need to get to that information, and therefore Apple must do it. So a lot of people thinking it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, which we won't get a decision anyway because we only got 8 justices, and they won't get a new one in there either. So who knows how that's going to roll out. But basically that's where it stands. A lot of people are kind of on social media going back and forth and figuring out, there's a side that says, of course we need to break into this phone. It's for our safety, and then there's the other side that says, are you out of your mind? You're basically giving the government the right to break into all of your information in your phones.
Everyone's head.
But my thing is, if they really want to do it, they can do it anyway. So,
if they can, the point is if they can do it anyway, then why are they going through all of this in the public?
it's true. I mean, that's true. I don't know. It's a hard thing because it's a catch-22 because there are probably some certain circumstances like this where information is needed, and if it's, a terrorist or who he is a terrorist, you need to collect all the information about him.
Yes, you do.
That privacy issue is a big thing. I mean, I still find it hard to believe that they can't get into that phone when they could take a satellite right now and beam us right now and take a picture of us without us even knowing. So I find it hard to believe that you can't get into that phone at all.
Like, in all these years, like, you ain't never unlocked an iPhone?
Right,
like,
as advanced as technology
I
is
feel
at
like
this
I know
stage.
could make a phone call to someone that could do that for $25.
All those are real legitimate questions. It made me wonder, like, what's really going on?
In other words, keep the new pics off of your
What's
cell
really going
phone
on?
storage.
The new
Take those
pics,
off.
all your information. But I mean, everything is on people's phones. It's not just like the
True.
pictures. It's your
Everything.
credit card information.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
your health information. It's all of that. And somebody could possibly have access to it already, or maybe they don't. But we don't know.
I thought it was like they went to Apple and they're like, "Can you unlock this phone?" Apple was gonna be like, "No, sorry." And
Well, basically what they're saying, supposedly it's, can you unlock this phone? But in order to do that, we have to come up
Create
with
something which will
that
unlock-
will allow that. But if that is now in existence and it has been created, then it's out there and available
You
to
got too many
whoever
fucks
wants
ways
to
to
use
Right,
it.
do it. Right.
Nah, y'all, no. That's why I'm using
Yeah, but it's important. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it.
I need to talk to Samsung because if Apple got that kind of lock, I might have to get me an Apple.
It's important
And if it
information.
could stop, prevent something major, a major catastrophe, then that information is needed.
Okay, but say they create this, right? Now, all of a sudden, you have all these hackers out there who are like, oh, wait, I can get into so-and-so's phone, a government official's phone. Then they're hacking into their phones. A nobody or a terrorist now is using the same system that Apple created to hack into these other phones to get all that private information. So, okay.
It's not a win-win either way.
It isn't. It's just like...
I would just like them to hack into the IRS and make it so we don't have to pay taxes. How about that?
Let's try that. And on that note, we're going to move on to our ER Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, we are all, I'm sure, fans of the historic Goodtimes. I mean, most of us have seen it, grew up to it in some form.
wore my Afro Puff
Damn,
just in
damn.
celebration.
I got my damn T-shirt, Miss Flo. Well, that cast, the remaining cast, which includes John Amos, Jimmy Walker, Janet Dubois, Bernadette Stannis, and Ralph Carter, are working together right now. They started a Firestarter account to create a reunion movie. So they've been off air for 40 years, which is crazy because I'm still watching those reruns like they yesterday.
Yeah,
but
they're on TV One.
They are on TV One right now, and they were on another channel as well recently. But they are starting a Firestarter account to create money for them to create this reunion. They said that they keep getting stopped by people all the time saying, "You guys deserve a movie. We want to know where you guys are at now. It's been 40 years later. Everybody's really into this." They have a $1 million goal that they have set. Mm-hmm. Currently, they have $5,539 that they've raised, and they have 12 more days, according to their fund account, to raise the rest of the money. Now, that's a huge difference, but the best way to promote this is by getting it out there to try and get people. You got to let people know about it. So I guess I actually went onto the account to see like how it all worked. It's pretty easy. Just donate, and they have a range. They said you don't have to give $1,000. You could give $1. You could give $25, and they have an account called $10,000, the damn package. So if you want to donate that much, get your damn on. You know what I'm saying?
Can I get a credit in the movie
Can
or
I get,
something?
right? You know,
Yeah.
I think this is great. I mean, I do feel like people don't really talk about Good Times the way that they should. I mean, it was funny. Someone asked me the other day, what 2 TV shows that I think could make a great musical, and I said Sanford and Son and Good Times. I think that
Oh, a
would be
musical.
great. A great
musical?
musical.
I said, because the whole Fuller House thing is coming out right now, I would love what's it? Fresh Prince, but obviously that ain't gonna happen because Jan's just out here screaming and whatnot. But no, Family Matters. I would really love to see an
Where all of they
updated.
are.
You know, it could be like one episode.
You
Just
want to know if
special.
Urkel became a millionaire pimp?
Well, no, I want
Yeah,
to
the
see if
man.
he can still do the Urkel.
Oh.
Do you remember the dance?
He won't
I
do
do.
it.
Yes.
But I want to, you know what I mean? So I'm all for the reboots. I'm here for it. As long as they're done properly. Because if you've seen the Fuller House cast, did
They
you see
all
him
came
on
back,
the what's his name from SNL? Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
Their chemistry is
Yeah.
like they never left the
They
set.
stayed, but they stayed friends
Yeah.
all these
All these
years.
years.
Most
I
of
feel like
them
Family
were
Matters
associates.
could
And I
do
feel
that.
like these
And
they
Good
did
Times?
too. You
Yeah,
know,
Good
it was
Times.
interesting to see that they said, well, maybe they were just mentioning him as the remaining cast with John Amos because I was thinking he died on the show, so how can he pop back unless he does a little
Yeah.
flashback? But I don't know.
You know, technology, Intel be in that.
He
like,
was a.
Right.
I don't.
He
That's.
was
I
in a-
mean, I like the. I don't know if I want to see a movie though.
What do you two think?
I can't
You wanna see
imagine
it?
what that story. Because I don't know how.
I mean, I would like to know. You know, Thelma was fine. I want to know what she's doing now. You know, I mean, what do you think?
It sounds lovely to me.
Such a pleasant answer you just gave.
I didn't necessarily grow up watching it, but I have seen a few episodes, and I know my elders, my uncles and grandma and grandpa, they enjoyed it very much, and my uncle very much reminds me of JJ, so I would love to see it. Why not? It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I think it would be great as well, but like you said, only if there was some sort of progression.
Yeah.
Like, you know, did they finally
What's the
move
story? Did they
up?
move
Yeah,
out?
right.
Because
I hope
I mean,
they- I hope
Cabrini
they-
Green got
Yes.
torn down in what?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
95?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So
I hope they're
yeah.
not all in one apartment somewhere random somewhere else. I don't want to see it then. Let's
don't
move on.
know.
Let's leave me
Yeah.
with that they moved on up. You
That's
know?
what makes me
Yeah.
wonder though, because the age range, like right now, the people that would invest to go see the movie
Yeah.
probably weren't really into the TV show.
Yeah, I mean it's like
That's
my
true.
parents.
It would be
Yeah,
like
my
yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I just remember it was always on, so
Definitely watched the
grandparents,
reruns all
all
the
of them.
time.
But
had it
also
on
the
all
magic
time.
of taking a TV show and making it into a movie, like you said, that makes me nervous because Good Times hit some really deep issues.
Yeah.
Deep.
So in a movie, it's like, are we gonna get too
I need to know
deep?
what the story is.
Yeah.
I just need to know what the story is.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine it right now.
Well, if you want to donate, you can go to
Esther's
their
gone.
Firestarter account, and like I said, they have $5,000, almost $6,000 raised. Their
They
goal
got
is
12 days, y'all.
goal is 100,000. So if you want to, or excuse
it's
me,
100,000 or
excuse me,
million?
a million,
Okay.
and you have till March 4th to help them maintain that goal. So donate $1.
Either that or Kanye. You got two choices.
You get two choices.
go.
All right, we're going to move to our last story before we get into a great little interview with these two here. This is something I'm happy to report. We talk about so many negative things in the industry, especially as of late with diversity and the lack thereof with the Oscars approaching. But there is a new boss in town, a new president. ABC has just appointed Channing Dungay as the network's first black woman president. She has been there apparently since 2009. She was the executive VP, and she was very instrumental in ABC shows such as How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, Quantico as well. She replaced Paul Lee, who was at his post for 6 years, and she has been making her rounds right now, and she said that she's got some big changes that she wants to do with the network, and this is just huge, you know? I mean, like I said, we tend to focus on a lot of negative things in media, but let's focus on some of these positive things. She's making moves, been there, and working her way on up. So, Shonda Rhimes obviously is very instrumental of just the executive producing part of everything with the show. So I think, those two working together is just going to be a powerhouse.
And
you know?
ABC's
So-
A
kind of
woman.
been leading the
A
charge.
woman.
Black.
A
Black woman.
Yeah.
First black woman
First.
as president
That's
of the
so
network.
Well, we gonna be
Crazy that
talking
it's
about
like-
1,000 years
It's
after.
crazy to think of first,
It's
though.
2016
Yeah.
and it's the first black woman.
Well,
to
when I
head
first read the
ABC.
article,
Like, that's insane.
I actually thought, I was like, oh no, that can't be right. There has to be another
Like,
one who was
ever.
appointed. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
But it's baby steps.
but ABC's also been like leading the charge kind of
They are.
in the diversity department. They've done a really good job. So
Yeah.
Wait,
keep it
is
up.
that really crazy? Like head of like the main networks? to think like that. I don't think that. I think like it makes sense. That's
I
why
think
TV's
it's
been the way it's
sad
been.
as hell.
No, I think it's crazy
basically
that
the
it hasn't
bottom.
been
Like I think
anyone
crazy
else.
as
Oh,
in
it's
it's
sad.
sad.
It's
not
sad
like,
that it's
yeah.
crazy.
Not that I'm
it hasn't
shocked.
Been, yeah.
I'm just like, wow, that's deep.
And maybe they can give you two some new jobs too over there while we're doing that.
No,
Keep 'em
that's
working.
right.
You know what I'm
Keep
saying?
'em working.
Keep them working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, congratulations to Channing. That concludes our topics of today.
Yeah.
But before we leave, we want to talk to these two wonderful actors and actresses in the house today, Rachel Walker and John Merchant, about your play, first of all, Dreamscape, which is being adapted into a movie. My name is Maisha. But let's start off with just kind of giving us a little background on how you got involved with the play and what the play is all about, because it's a great subject matter, getting a lot of buzz, and we're really happy to have you guys here today to talk about that. So tell us a little bit more about the background of the play. We'll start there.
The background of the play, oh man. So it was written by Kirby Hines, and it was about an incident of a young African American girl who was passed out in her car, and it was in 1998. And her cousins had called for police help because she had a gun on her lap, and they didn't know what was wrong with her. The doors were locked, the music was loud, they couldn't open the door, so they called the police for help. Once the police showed up, they couldn't wake her up. Officer bust open the window. He heard a gunshot, and they all began firing. In the end, she was shot 12 times, and of course, she did not make it. So, and it happened in the Inland Empire, in Riverside, on Central and Brockton. And how I got involved in this play was Kirby Hines is a professor at UC Riverside, and I am a graduate of UC Riverside, and I was in the theater department. And that was, I graduated in 2010. He contacted me in 2011 and said, hey, are you still acting? By then I had given it up. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't have confidence. I just thought I need to make a living. I graduated from college. I don't know where my life is going. What do I do? So I had 2 jobs, just trying to make it work, whatever I had to do to not go back home, to not live in my car. So when he asked me, I said, well, you know, it is my passion, and I really miss the stage. So, okay, I guess I'll try it out. And here we are 5 years later.
Wow.
Cool.
My journey is I met Kirby about a decade ago. I started beatboxing when I was 6 years old and stayed with it. And when I turned 18, I started going to an open mic in my hometown of Pomona. And Kirby would often have, he had a hip hop theater festival that he would do at UC Riverside. And I'm an alumni of the open mic called A Mic and Dim Lights. We were a part of that festival. Kirby saw me, thought that I was amazing, and said, hey, we need to work together. That was a conversation that we had over the course of the years. And eventually one day he walked into a job that I had. I saw him and his wife, and he said, hey, I have something for you. Give me an email, sent a script, and said, show up this day. And I walked in and met Rachel, and once again, here we are 5 years later.
Wow.
And the play is very hip-hop oriented and charged.
Hip hop theater.
So give us a little bit of your technique and background with that as well, because a lot of people didn't know that with the play.
Is it a musical?
It's not a musical. It's more of a
Ish.
She said she's like.
Ish.
I would consider it a musical. I mean, it's not your typical musical, but I mean, hip hop theater encompasses music. I mean, this one especially. I mean, it's all throughout the play. You are the soundtrack.
So with hip hop theater, that's the genre that Rick Kirby, he's been a practitioner since the late 80s. And what hip hop theater is, it's basically taking the performative elements of hip hop and allowing them to be a narrative tool in telling a story. Being emceeing or rapping, DJing or beatboxing, dance, and graffiti or tableaus. And this play uses emceeing, so a lot of the dialogue that she has, or really everything that she says, is very poetic. It has a very poetic flow to it. There's a lot of different rhyme schemes. There's the musicality. I beatbox, so I portray 3 different characters: the dispatcher, the officer, and the coroner. And there's a lot of layers that I've written into it as far as the beatboxing and researching different songs to add to her. So the play is primarily about Maisha, the character Maisha. My character is just an accompaniment. It's just to help enhance and help her to tell the story. as well as dance. The play is basically written from 3 points of departure. So what was going on through this 19-year-old black woman's mind as she was being shot to death by the police, the actual coroner's report, what was happening to her body, and also the actual transcripts from the dispatcher, from the officer, and once again the coroner. And it's definitely evolved from what Rick Kirby envisioned at first. He initially had a DJ on stage because when you think about, you know, a DJ, what he carries his equipment in is called a coffin. So it's this idea of her constantly coming back to this coffin being cut and scratched, the coffin representing the coroner's table, so on and so forth.
That's so dope.
The evolution of it is he incorporated, somebody suggested him using a beatboxer, which is where I came in, and we just added and grew with it. And I think with our chemistry and our passion and love for not only what we do, but for this work and this art form, you know, it's really helped to enhance it, to make it something that's just bigger than life. You know, when you read the script, it simply says, you know, scratches, you know, numbers of 1. And one of the things that we did where I found samples that utilize 1 to tell the story. For example, the first gunshot goes through her arm. So a musical sample that I use is Dilated People's Worst Come to Worst. And I also used Jay-Z's song Squeeze First.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're just beatboxing on it.
I go, there's a prologue, and then the introduction to the first scene is worst come to worst, my people, they come first. Squeeze first, ask questions last. The interest of gunshot number 1 is located on the right upper arm. You know, and then goes into.
Oh, I'm here for this.
I'm like, don't stop.
You're in the popcorn.
Don't stop right now.
It's so hard not to
I know
dance.
about this.
You gotta be
It's
my
so
And I
favorite
was just
person in the
watching you,
world.
just your rhythm just right off of him. It was just instant.
Oh.
And for you, okay, I know you have a musical background because you beatbox, you know what I mean, and you obviously know music. For you, kind of coming onto this play, did you have was it hard for you to learn the rhythm of it? You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is just it's so unique. You know, it's not your everyday play. So how long does it take you to embrace that rhythm? Yeah, the physicality of it.
The physicality for me actually came quite easily because I am a dancer. The rhythm to me, I just feel it, and it's ooh. I mean, especially the more we work together, and I hear him, I feel him,
Yeah.
so I feel it through my body. So it was very easy for me to embody the character. But as far as the rhythm of the text, that was what was hard for me because she's an MC, and like he said, everything she says is very poetic, and she raps too. I had never rapped before performing this play, so you know I was like, I don't think I sound very good, but you know that's when I had to do my research. That's when I had to look up artists, and she was a big fan of Aaliyah, and so I was able to relate to that. So finding the rhythm in that, and then also with other artists who are very poetic, and I had mentioned earlier, my soul sisters, Jill Scott and India Ari, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and listening to them and see how they represented their work through their music, and then trying to build that into my speech, but at the same time having to keep it as speech.
Right.
But it's very Shakespearean, and because I was in theater in college, I was able to study Shakespeare, so that helped me as well.
What is one of your favorite parts within the play to perform?
Oh, all of it? Favorite? Oh man, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, because it all just happens so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, she's there and she's talking, and then she gets brought back to the chair is what we have, the coffin, if you will. And then she's there, and he does his beatboxing, and then she's out again, and then she comes back, and then she's out again. So it's very fast-paced. So I don't have time to really breathe.
I would have to say the same thing. All of it, simply because we take the audience on a journey.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things to where we could tell you the entire plot, theme, everything about the play, and you'll know, like, obviously this girl, she loses her life at the end of the play. You'll get so just, you become the character yourself just watching, like you fall in love with Maisha to the point to where you don't want her to die. You're almost rooting for her to continue to live.
Right.
And I feel as though that we've grown this piece so much to where we take you on an emotional journey. I don't think there's ever been a show where there's been a dry eye in the audience. And a lot of that has to deal with the juxtaposition between our characters, you know, with her being so vibrant and my character being so cold, with, you know, the collaboration between the two of us on taking you away from the reality of what's really happening, especially with the beatboxing. I've crafted beats so well that you will forget that they're actually representing a bullet that's mutilating her body. You know, and we've had people say that a lot of times, you know, during our conversations afterwards, where they say, you know, what was this beat? It sounded like you were doing something backwards and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I was, because I wanted you to get lost in this music, which oftentimes happens in our society. Somebody gets killed, we're so against it, and we're trying to take a stand and we want some sort of action, but then we get distracted by something that's happening in society. We get distracted by something that's happening in our community around us, and then we just get lost in this fantasy world, and then there's still somebody being shot to death. And then we don't come back to that or even recover before it happens again. You know, and we're still lost in this dream world. And so with that play, I feel like we kind of encompass all of those emotions and all of those things that take you on the journey.
And I love the fact, even though I'm a DJ and, you know, that boy probably done lost his money and his coin. But I got to say that I mean, without seeing the play yet, but I can imagine taking that aspect and switching it for the beatboxing. It brings it to a really personal place to just hear that and to just hear dialogue. And that's so strong to me. And my question to you guys is, hearing that this is going to become a movie, how do we take... Because I love theater, but I also know sometimes theater and bringing it onto the big screen can be difficult.
Right.
It has to be done, you know, specifically. How is this gonna translate over? Are we gonna bring the beatboxing in? Is it mostly gonna be focused like the play, or?
Absolutely. It's pretty much going to be taking the play and turning it into a movie. So there's still going to be elements that we have in the play that are going to be translated. We have an incredible team, Gus Krieger, Michael Paz, Mika Tennant, who's actually working very hard to make sure that it stays true to not only the writing, but the structure that we have within the play, which is very simplistic. The thing that blows everybody's minds will show up, and typically when you think of a play, you think of a big production and a lot of light cues and everything. People, how much time do you need to set up? Well, we need 2 chairs and a microphone.
And that's it, yeah.
Turn the lights on, turn them off, and we've done it in theaters, we've done it in cafeterias, classrooms, where we've literally we couldn't move the desk, so we basically turned the classroom around to be able to perform inside the classroom. This is in Poland, and so, yeah.
Do you know what I'm
That's
about to
hip-hop.
ask? Could y'all give us a little something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like something like really,
Something.
because I can
What you want to
imagine.
do? I want to shoot.
I mean, there's the hair, there's New York. New York is fun.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do New York?
From what part?
From towards the end.
Okay.
So then it's a mix of beatboxing as well as you.
I love creative people.
Me too. I just
like,
want
yay.
the process.
Yay.
No, I mean just to give us a
Give
taste.
a
I mean,
sample, a little
after the
taste.
beatboxing, I'm
Yeah.
sold. I'm
Yeah, you have me at beat.
You're like,
yeah,
do it,
good.
do it.
But I want to see
But I
that you
wanna
guys
see a
work.
little bit
I want
more.
to see live right here.
You want to do 6
Okay, what's 6?
or 3? Let's do 3 because 3 is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Shorter.
Oh, okay.
Cheerleader.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. You're right.
All right. Now, do I speak into the camera?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This
She's already on.
audience.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Let me,
it.
let me get
Take us there.
my chair.
Hold
Lean
on.
back
Can
real
you
quick.
bring me in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My back is actually turned in the play, so I'm gonna go with the character because it's all about her. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. The entrance to gunshot number 3. Oh, look at the gas. Show 'em where it's at. The entrance to gunshot number 3 is located on the right posterior shoulder on the right upper back. This is a typical distant gunshot wound entrance. The course of the projectile is through the skin and soft tissue and exits the wall of the back. This is a non-fatal gunshot wound to the right upper back. Back. 1, 2, 3, break.
I was always a tomboy. People used to say I must be gay because I dress this way. Baggy jeans, sneakers, my shirt hanging loose this way. Always a tomboy. And if you don't like it, you can kiss this way. Look good playing the field. And still has sex appeal. Play some basketball, but softball was my game. Got my pitch up to 65 my last year, Riverside High, even got a little fame. It's true. Got my picture in the Black Voice newspaper, page B2. My best pitch, I called it the quick and split. Had batter singing the blues. See ya. Love the sound of my pitch in the catcher's mitt when it hit that sweet spot. It was like, sounded good. Felt good. And I look good too. Okay, let me stop. I did look good though. I'm thinking about walking on to a Cal State. Or UCR, RCC, Valley, Cal Poly. I messed up and didn't get my applications in on time. Tomboy. Shoot. Man, I could have been a cheerleader if I wanted to. Homeboy. My name is Maisha, and I'm the best. Don't mess with me, you'll get the rest. My name is Maisha, you know my name. Wanna get with me, you better step up your game. My name is Maisha, and I'm the best. Wanna get with me, won't get the rest. My name is Maisha, you know my name. You wanna get with me, you better step up your game.
Okay, I want to go. Let's go right now to the
Oh my
show.
God, that was so awesome.
That was amazing.
Love it.
Wow.
Love it.
I'm blown
really
away by
impressed.
that.
I'm blown
Like just
away.
seeing the whole transformation right there. Like, no, I can imagine. I can really imagine. I was almost gonna interrupt you and be like, "Girl, let me take this chair out of
Get
here."
it out of the way.
I almost
Just the
did.
stage.
Even to the whistles, that like
I know. I mean, I forgot I was in the studio.
Girl, you said my name. We was all like,
Maisha, really.
I felt like I was doing the formation.
see it.
I know, I was like, all right.
fantastic.
They're telling us we got to wrap up, unfortunately. So, okay.
Child, what are we gonna do
So,
after
where,
that?
where do people find you? First of all, if they want, okay. So,
I wanna see it.
You got me
Yeah,
so
I'm
discombobulated right now
you don't
because
know
I
what
feel
to
like
do.
I was in
Think
the play.
straight.
So, I know you guys are still raising money for the movie, correct? So, how do people find out how to give money towards the movie?
Kickstarter.
Okay.
My name is Maisha.
Okay.
Kickstarter. My name is Maisha. We also have social media. My name is Maisha on Twitter, and yeah, you can also go to the website www.mynameismaisha.com. We do have a Kickstarter video and other promotional links that we have posted on the website and on our Twitter. But my name is Maisha. Look it up, Kickstarter, and it's the same thing. Give $1, $5. We feel like this work needs to be seen, not only because it's something that we feel is relevant to what's happening and has been going on, but it's great work. It's something that everybody can relate to. It's something that will touch hearts and minds and hopefully will change the perspective and the paradigm that's been happening in today's society.
Dope, informative art.
Yes, please donate. They have a $100,000 goal. They have 12 days left. You have about 13,000 right now. There's plenty of time to donate more to make this
Yes.
happen because we need to see this on the big screen. I mean, you need to send this
For
to
sure.
your Kickstarter to Spike
got
Lee.
me
All these
I was sweating over
send it
here.
to people that can give the big dollars too. Where can they find you on social media specifically?
Personally,
You can find me at I am Rachel Walker, Facebook.
I am Foz, just at Foz, FAAHZ, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above.
And they can still go see the play, correct?
Is it-
We have been primarily focusing
On the
movie.
just on the movie.
Okay.
To raise funds and getting into character and,
Okay.
and developing the movie
Well, please let us know if you do another play because we want to
show.
promote it because I want to
Nah,
go.
bro, I wanna be
You
there.
could do like
I
a
mean,
charity
yeah, I'm like,
version
but
to
seriously,
raise money
please
for
let
the
us know
movie.
because yes,
Throw a party.
throw a party,
Like-
something. Courtney, where can fans find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stewart Starlet.
Everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Once again, it's
I'm
been an
just still
absolute
like,
pleasure.
I
Yeah, I'm
can't.
still.
I'm like bouncing in my
I
chair.
still am hearing you beatbox and watching your arm movement right there, Rachel. I mean, I'm just, yeah, you
I'm gonna
guys.
be going. Everyone gonna be like, "Who's Maisha?"
Right, I'm like, right. Yeah, I'm blown away. Congratulations. I'm
Fantastic
thoroughly
work.
impressed.
And thank you for
Yes,
doing
thank
that.
you for
Yes,
that.
thank you.
And support them. Support this play and
Please.
this movement and this Kickstarter and this movie.
Y'all know y'all got $5.
Y'all know
go
y'all got
to
$5.
Kickstarter.
Don't go to that.
Don't
Don't
go
go buy the
counter.
drink
Don't
at
go
the
to
club.
Starbucks today or whatever
Right.
and go donate some
Don't
money.
go get the vodka tonic. Give it a little $5.
No,
you
if
know.
you get a vodka tonic in LA, you got $12. So go ahead and
You're right
do
about that. You're right about that. All right, well, thank
And
you
that's
guys.
true.
Please come back and keep us informed on what's going on with the movie and the play.
Yes.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live. We will see you next week.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood,
Hollywood
redefined.
I was about to say.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.